All right, it's brisket time. All right, so here's the barbecue deconstructed. It's a bullet smoker. So we got the lid, grills, chambers, water pan, more chambers, brush. That's the bottom where the fire is going to be. There's the fuel, the heat beads, lumpwood, charcoal, and there's the chimney starter to get the fire going. So let's get it going. All right, we've got the bottom of the bullet smoker here. We've got a couple of fire starters there. Let's light them up, get them going. There we go. Check the vents are all open. Yep, air vents are fully open. Ready to go. So let's get our charcoal on the fire starters. There we go. It's going. It'll probably take about 15-20 minutes and that charcoal will be ready to cook. Alright, here's the brisket. We need to get it prepared. So basically we just need to get the big bits of fat off. We still want a little bit of fat, but we just want to get the major bits off. And we want to get some of this spice rub onto it. So I need two hands to do this, but I'm going to use my boning knife and just get some of this stuff off, this big thick fat, but just leave a little bit on there. All right, here we go. All right, we got the brisket trimmed up a bit, got a lot of the fat off. Hopefully I didn't take too much off. Looking pretty good. There's the underside, so that's the side that's going to be on the bottom. Looking all right. So now we gotta get the rub on. So just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of olive oil.
Can I put the TV on?
Oh, the TV is on. A little bit of olive oil. Now I'm going to get my spice rub, which is a mix of pepper, salt and garlic powder. Get a bit on there. Rub it in. We need a bit more. Rub it in. Yeah, I'll finish this and come back and we'll look at it. All right, we got the brisket all rubbed up with the spice mix. Looks pretty good. That's what's going to make the nice bark when we cook it all day today. All right, so that's just going to sit there and rest until it's ready to go on. All right, we got our charcoal is lit. Looks ready to go. We're just going to chuck a bit more fuel in there first. So go into our fuel bag, find a good few bits, chuck them on there, chuck them on there. Big chunks. I'm going to keep it burning throughout the day. Whoa, it's hot. All right, ready to tip this fuel out and get the real fire started. And pour that into there. Chuck this guy away somewhere. All right, there's our fire. Might chuck a few more bits in there. chunks. We'll probably need more than that throughout the day, but we'll come back to it. I've got the fire going, so let's build the barbecue. Get the chamber sitting on top, like that. It's going to go like that. There's our little entry door, so we'll be able to get to the fire and add more fuel. Do the clips up. One on the other side. Clip it on. Now we need to get the water pan on there. This is the water pan. Get that in there. Need to fill it with water. Be careful here, don't want to get water on your fire. You put it out. So this is going to help regulate the temperature, and it's also going to make the meat nice and moist and juicy. Just filling this up all the way. Might need a refill halfway through the cook today. Alright, got our water pan in. Now we've got to get the cooking grill on. Get him on there. Looking good. Now we're almost ready to cook, but we just need to check the temperature now. So we're going to get some temperature probes. Got this ink bed, digital. Hopefully it's got batteries. Oh yeah, there we go. It's a little digital thermometer. We've got a few probes here. So what we're going to do is get some of these probes into the barbecue. Got a little probe mount. Get that on. Sorry, two-handed job. Little probe mount. He's going to sit on here. There we go. There's one probe mount. We've also got these little hot probe holes. Stick one in there. But I think when you put it there, you don't get the most accurate temperature reading because it's so close to the water. I think the water's taken a lot of the heat away, so this guy will probably give us a better, more accurate reading of what the temperature really is in the barbecue. So we've got two probes. Got the lid. Chuck him on. We've got a little crappy thermometer on the top. I never find it's that accurate. Oop. Make sure we got the air vents fully open. Get this fire going, and we'll close them later. Get your clips on for safety purposes. Clip him on. Alright, now that's cooking. So get our thermometer. Gonna plug the probes in. So now we're rocking. So probe 1 is 73 degrees and probe 2 is 128. Oh, it's going up a little bit as the barbecue's heating up now that the lid's on. But you see that probe number 1, which is this guy, that's really close to the water, and the water's not hot, so I guess the water's taken a lot of the temp away. So I reckon probe 2 is probably a better idea of what temp the meat is going to be at. I'm going to change it to Fahrenheit because that is tradition in barbecuing, is to use Fahrenheit. So I've got a little mobile app where I can control this. So what I'm really after is a barbecue temp of around 225 to 275 Fahrenheit. So I'm just going to watch this for a while I think we've got plenty of fuel in there and we've got plenty of air, so it'll be getting hot. When it starts to get hot, I need to cut the air off a bit and then try and maintain a steady temp, and that's when I'm going to get the brisket on the barbecue. Alright, so here's the probe in Fahrenheit. You can see probe number 2 is running at 295. It's probably still alright for cooking, but it looks like it's going up, so I'm going to cut off some of the air. I think that's going to get too hot. So adjust these guys. A little bit hot. There's actually 3 of these on the bottom. A little bit hot. Then you want to keep the top one open so you get good airflow, get the smoke flowing out, but kind of adjust the temp with the bottom ones. See how we go with that. Yeah, we're at 307, so we're running a bit too hot. Alright, we need to cool this puppy down. Alright, so we've got 2 probes now going. One's at about 250, one's about 241. So number 1 is the one that's a bit higher, number 2 is near the water. So you can see the water's sort of heating up a bit now, and it's getting a bit more of an equal temp going on. The the thermometer on here says 200, but I trust this over this. So let's get the meat on. Now we're going to put a couple of probes into the meat. So probably just do find a couple. Here's the probe. Find a couple of nice thick bit in the middle over there. With another one over here. There we go, got 2 probes in there. Let's plug them in, see what temperature the meat's at. There, probe 3 is 54, probe 4 is 54, so the meat's a pretty steady temperature. It's good. Alright, let's get the lid off. Don't want it off for too long because it's letting a lot of oxygen in. Grab the brisket. Get him on there. There we go, brisket's on. Grab the lid. Actually, I might move these probes a little bit. Get that in a bit more. Get that in a bit more. Just so they're not touching the lid. Lid back on. One and 2 went down because the lid was off, obviously. They're heating back up. So let's have a look at the fire. Looking good. Now, since we're cooking, what we're going to do is chuck some cherry wood on there for flavour. So you don't want to over smoke it, or it's going to not taste very good. But we get a couple of chunks of cherry wood. There we go, some cherry. A bigger bit than that. Something like this. Chuck that in there. Chuck this other little bit in. Now, close the door. And watch the magic about to start. So what we want to do is try and maintain somewhere between 225 to 275 all day. It's probably going to take all day to cook this thing. Hopefully it'll be cooked by the time everyone's here and ready to eat. We are looking for a meat temperature somewhere over, just over 200, but really we're cooking to feel, so it needs to, what they say, probe like butter. When you stick a probe in, it should feel like it's going in, a knife going into hot butter. It's pretty variable how long these things take, so yeah, see how we go. But usually they say the magic number for briskets is about 203 Fahrenheit. That seems to come up pretty often, but whatever, we'll cook it till it's ready and then we'll enjoy it. Now pretty much the rest of the day, oh, you can see the smoke coming now from that cherry wood, so that's a good amount of smoke coming out there. Obviously not sealed super well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, it's not a very expensive barbecue. Yep, there's the smoke coming out now. So what was I saying? The one thing that we will do is probably wrap the brisket in foil. Wind is blowing stuff everywhere. We'll wrap the brisket in foil when it hits the stall. So the stall is when the brisket starts, or the fat and everything starts melting, and there's an evaporative effect apparently that goes on, and the temperature stops rising and can even fall. So when you get to that point, you can either cook through, which will take a long time, or you wrap it, and that kills the stall, so the temperature can then keep rising and keep on cooking properly. So I'm going to wrap it. We'll see, I'll do a video when I do that. And yeah, the rest of the day is just going to be basically maintaining this temperature and trying to keep this barbecue from overheating or underheating. So I've got a little mobile app, and I'm just going to keep my eye on it for the rest of the day. So I'll see you later on. Smoking away nicely now. There you go, look at that, nice cherry wood smoke, smells great. Brisket's on. Hopefully it all goes well today. There is a lot of pride on the line here. Can't let weight us down with a terrible brisket or an undercooked brisket. It is now 8:03 AM. So I'm predicting maybe an 8-hour cook. Maybe this will be ready around 6. We'll see. All right, catch you later. All right, the brisket started to stall now, so let's check it out and give it a wrap. Oh yeah, looking good. Looking good. All right, I need 2 hands for this. See you in a second. The lid off. Brisket's out. Just going to give it a bit of a spritz with some vinegar. Keep it nice and moist. Now I'm going to wrap it up. All right, and now throw the brisket back on, and it's going to, hopefully the temperature will start rising. It'll break out of the stall and be cooked on time. Take the lid off. Chuck him over there. Grab the brisket. Get it on there. You can see it's shrunk in size a little bit as it cooks. There we go. Lid back on. Check out the temperature. Remember 1 and 2 are the air temp probes, 3 and 4 are in the meat. So at 163, we're heading for somewhere just over 200. See 1 and 2 heating up now that I've got the lid back on. Obviously it loses all its heat when you take the lid off, but then the fire gets a lot of oxygen, so the fire gets a bit hotter, so we should see it come up a little bit. Anyway, we'll check in later, see how it's going. Alright, so it's 4 p.m, so it's been cooking for 8 hours now. Checking out the probes. 3 and 4 are at 205, so that's about sort of ballpark target area we want to get to, so let's check it out. Smells good. Smells very good. Lid off. Over there. There he is. Look at that. That's great. Alright. So I'm just going to give it a little probe test. Got my trusty thermometer here. Change it to Fahrenheit, as is tradition. Stick it in. What does it say? Ooh, not as... This is saying it's a bit lower than the others. I'm just going to give it a bit of a prick test. Some bits are nice and soft, and other bits are got a bit of resistance in it, so I'm going to keep cooking it for a while. Wrap it back up again. Alright, so we hit a temp of about 207 after 9 hours of cooking. 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Is that 9 hours? Something like that. 4 and 5. Yep. There you go. My assistant and customer is here. Have a go with that. Let's see how it's probing.
Alright, so we're going for temperature or just to texture?
Texture.
Just texture. Look at that.
Feel like butter?
It feels just like going in hot butter to me.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Oh,
that's good.
I reckon this brisket ready to go. So we're gonna let it cool down to about 180, 185, something like that, and then we're gonna wrap it and put it in the esky. Got him wrapped up. Oh, hot. Wrap it up in a tea towel now. Wrapped in a tea towel. And put it in the esky. Now it's going to sit there until it's time to eat.
Yep.
Alright, here we go. The grand presentation. Let's see if this actually worked. So it cooked for, what did we say, 9 hours?
9 hours, yep.
9 hours. It's had a bit of a rest. Now, I'm going to have a look at it and see if it actually is any good. So the bark looks good.
They called the black, that's the bark, is it?
The bark, yeah, the crust.
Mm-hmm.
The crust on the outside. Looks pretty good. Feels pretty good. Trying to think where to start the cutting with my brisket knife, specialty
Brisket knife. Do you want
Nice
to tell
and-
us about the brisket knife?
It's long,
Long?
just so if you've got a big brisket, you can get right through it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I might just cut from this side and see how we go.
Good a side as any.
Yep. So let's get a bit of a
I'll come around this side actually.
get a bit of a. There's a first little bit. You want to taste that?
So,
So we've got a lot of bark on that one. See if it's any good. Tasty. So looks not too bad. Nice little red smoke ring going around there. And cut through it a bit more. So a nice big slice of it. And another nice big slice. Oh, it's a bit hot. Some of that fat there is probably not 100% ideal, but looks pretty good to me. We'll just chop a bit of that off.
So why don't you want the fat?
It just could be a little bit more melted.
Alright,
But
yeah.
this looks pretty well cooked.
Yeah.
And visually looks good. And I think, from what I can tell, I think that's a success.
Delicious.
Yummy.
Well done.
Let's eat.